Hey friends, welcome to the Bold Outdoors Garage, and today I'm going to show you some carnage. If you saw my last video, you saw that kind of had a little bit of difficulty going up Hell's Gate. And so I guess first of all, this was the main thing, was the rear axle was completely snapped. So that was the passenger side rear. That puppy was gone. Alright, so made it up Hell's Gate on 3-wheel drive, and had a little bit of carnage with the differential. My first clue was when I was ratcheting onto the trailer. I noticed some oil seepage out of this seal. This is the input seal, and I just noticed it was chewed up, so I knew the pinion had been moving around. So upon further inspection, blah blah blah, just toast, just disintegrated. So the inner race and all that is just chewed the hell up. Now this bearing is a Pier 5306. Pier is basically the only company that I can see that makes this bearing. It's relatively easy to come by. So there, it's a genuine Pierce. And if you're paying more than $18-20 for that, you're getting ripped off. I know Polaris charges $150 for this bearing. Again, you should find this all day long for $18 to $20. And you can get different versions. So the basic one in the Razor, or the Hilliard, Razor actually doesn't make this differential, is just an open cage design, nothing special. Now you can get a shielded version. It has a metal shield on here. It still allows some oil in to bathe it. Now this isn't a splash oiled system, so you don't necessarily want that. Or you can get a fully sealed bearing. Now that one is about $90 to $100 for a fully sealed bearing. However, this system does not use the full sealed bearing. It uses the $18-20 version. So save your money. Don't buy the Polaris version, and don't believe the hype on some of these off-road aftermarket companies charging a $140 kit for a bearing. It's relatively cheap and easy to come by. Same thing with a seal kit. They don't really cost too much. I think this kit was like 17 bucks, and these seals, you're available everywhere. So there's nothing special about anything in this differential. So don't believe the hype or anything like that. It's readily available just about everywhere. So anyway, so that was my first clue that something was wrong. So that seal was chewed up, and this, once you pulled the seal, you could see the carnage and everything that was going on in there. Now, when I pulled, basically the side cover off and started digging into it, I started seeing, okay, the pin's missing. Well, actually it was sheared off. So it's just a 3/32 roll pin. It's a really tiny pin for what's being asked for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill it out for 1/8 inch, and then an 1/8 inch roll pin, and then I'll double it up by inserting a 1/16 inside to that. So it'll be doubled up, double wall roll pin in there. Other than that, everything else was perfectly fine. It's not a very sophisticated system. It seems that way, but the way it kind of operates, but there's no way to adjust the backlash. This is rough casting. This isn't machined. And so, yeah, it's kind of interesting, really, how this whole thing works. And you notice on some other videos I'd spoken about on the inside here. Now, it looks like garbage right now, but down in there is where you'll get a little bit of oil seepage. Because these are two halves, and the oil gets down the middle and then comes out each side. Basically, that's kind of like a freeze plug on the inside there. And so all you do is you get a little bit of silicone and kind of squirt it in and smear it around on the very, very inside there. Don't really get any on the thread or the splines. It's not really necessary. Same thing with these side bearings. Mine are perfectly fine. I don't see any reason to replace them. But same thing. Readily available bearing just about everywhere. No need to get fancy. But other than that, you know, it's just a basic system. Already placed the side seals on there. Go ahead and press the bearing on. Get that all back together. Drill this out for an 1/8 inch pin. And then slap it all back together. Lots of carnage. I'll also use a 5/16 bolt instead of using the roll pin on that as well. So there you go, a little bit of update on the carnage that occurred on Hell's Gate. Now, I'm not exactly sure, you know, the chicken before the egg, you know, like my 4-wheel drive, I made it out of Hell's Revenge perfectly fine, and 4-wheel drive worked perfectly fine. So I don't know at what point this sheared off. I'm not sure exactly at what point this failed. This probably definitely failed on Hell's Gate. This may have failed a while ago. Yeah, I don't know. And you know, this is perfectly fine. The armature and the plastic cage are just fine, so whatever. Oh, this is another thing. If you ever strip this out, because it's always a weird angle, just weld a nut on there. Boom. Good to go. Don't have to worry about it. So anyway, that's kind of a little bit of an update of the kind of the stupidity that I did. But I had to get out of there. There's no other way out but just to send it. And send it I did. I'll get this back together tonight and tomorrow. And I hit the trails this weekend. So yeah. That is the 2018 Polaris RZR XP Turbo. That's my baby. It's about time I treat her good. Went ahead and threw in also, I'll go ahead and mention that, threw in some new ball joints and then new lower bushings on the A-arms. This one was completely toast. And then, yeah. That should be good to go. Put another 2,000 miles on it. But there you go. So, bolt it outdoors in the bolted garage. A little bit of carnage over there. Get it all back together. Tear it up again. That's what we do. Catch you guys next time. If you like what I do, subscribe. If you like this video, thumbs up. And I'll see you next time. Peace.